Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back on GT Sport and we're back with the Daily Race C track guide for the Super Formula cars at Fuji Speedway. So for this lap we're going to point out all the braking markers, the places that might be able to gain you a bit more time. We're also going to do a separate video with a strategy guide probably tomorrow with regards to how to try and best judge the fuel for the race, because it is a kind of a weird race where you can do multiple ways of pitting, but you have to pit. There's no way of doing a no stop, but there is ways of doing either a 6 lap, 7 lap or 8 lap stint depending on where you do them. So we're going to go through that and explain how you do that in a separate video. We did actually record the race while streaming, so I can go through that and explain the different options involved with that. But for this video we're going to concentrate on getting the most out of your time trial lap, the most speed, the best lap time that will give you the best qualifying place to start you as far up on that grid as possible. Now the lap that we're going to be using is actually quite a good lap. It's a 20.1. I do have an optimal of a 19.9, which I'm pretty sure I could get into if I was to sit on the time trial for quite a while. But like I say, we did this yesterday and I probably won't go back onto the time trial, but I think this lap is good enough to show you where the places are that you can get the most out of your lap and the little things that will help get them vital few temps to jump you up the field a little bit into a higher position. So starting your lap, obviously you need to really try and make sure you get a good exit off this final corner. So get nice and wide, down in second gear, use some of the curb if need be, straighten the car up on the power into third gear and accelerate it out as hard as you can down the straight. Now you're going to be looking for your braking zone. The first brake marker that you're going to look for is the 100 board on the left hand side. We're going to brake just short of the 100 board. Remember, we've got the racing soft tyres on, so you can brake quite late. You can see there 100 board is approaching there. Now we're going to hit our brakes right at this point, which is just short of that 100 board, and braking in a straight line, getting the car over onto that curb and then widening the line in as much as possible into this very tight right hand corner. Now you want to try and get your car as close to this apex as possible. You can see I'm staying in second gear there for this lap, slowly feeding that throttle in, then hard on the power and working your way down into the next left hand corner. Now this is quite a tricky corner again. This is probably one of the harder corners to get right on the track. You can see we're just going to give it a lift off the throttle. We're not going to brake, just a little lift off the throttle in fifth gear, and we're going to throw this car in as aggressively as possible. You kind of want to aim for that bar with your left hand tyre, but you will actually miss it if you do that. And jump over that little bit of green Astro. The car will bounce out to the right. You run a little bit wide. Now this is really important. You need to get your car back onto the track before that line, because if you don't, you will get a penalty on the lap and it will be invalid. So make sure you swing it back onto the track as soon as possible. Going through this corner is flat out, and then you just give a little lift every now and then through this right hand corner. I find it just helps give the car a bit of traction and grip to hold them a better line for the apex. You'll see the Ghost goes a little bit ahead here, and what you'll see is at this point, because I've lifted off the throttle every now and then, we're going to have a better line into the next corner. You see the Ghost is further to the left. That's going to compromise the Ghost exit on the next corner a bit. As you can see, already on the brakes here now before the 50 board. And again, down into second gear and trying to skim the apex. You don't want to get onto the curb. The curb will unsettle the car really. So you want to try and skim the apex. We get a little moment of understeer there, which shoots me a little bit wide of what I would have liked. And then that compromises getting on the power slightly. But we still managed to get on the power in third gear reasonably well. But maybe lost half a tenth there. You can see the Ghost patching up a bit where he managed to take a slight better line through that corner. But that was because of the little moment of understeer we got into the apex. Then we're going to brake just past that bridge boarding on above our heads, down very aggressively through the gears here. You're going to go down into second gear, then into first gear as we approach the apex, and you can really take a big chunk off the apex here. You can see attacking the curb really aggressively in the Super Formula car and bouncing over that, and then a little dab of the accelerator as you come through the corner to try and straighten the car up, and then lift off the throttle in second gear and let it coast for a little bit basically. And then once you feel the car straighten up, back onto the throttle 50%, and then aggressively now on the throttle to straighten it up, and you're going to again attack this apex, kind of aiming for that bollard on the right hand tyre with the right hand tyre, and you see we actually hit that there, and then up into fourth gear. And again, a little dab of the brakes just as we're approaching that curb on the left hand side, down into third gear, trail brake it in, and then down second gear, and then back up to third gear. And we're going to accelerate through this corner. You're going to see trying to get your right hand tyre on the green part of the Astro, and then accelerate out the corner. You see maximum throttle there. That's kind of kicking the rear out as you pull the car through this corner into the next braking zone, which we're already braking for. I like to brake early for this corner. I find it does help out in terms of getting that really tight line into this apex, and you see it helps hit the apex down into second gear. And trail braking still all the way through the corner. We're going to try and skim our left-hand tyre on that curb, and pretty much doing that spot on. Early upshift into third gear again. Keep the power down. We run a little bit wide and lose a little bit of time there as we make that little mistake. And then again, you need to widen this line into this final corner. You're going to see we're on the brakes nice and early, down into second gear, and just let it coast through the corner. Don't be accelerating too early. You've got to be very cautious how early you accelerate. And then early upshift into third gear, keep the power planted, and accelerate all the way down the start straight. You can see we got quite a good exit there, and that's how we managed to pull away from the ghost that's now behind us in the mirror. We go for 1 minute 20 point, I think it's over 120.114 there. So not like, I think there is more potential in the lap. I think we can get it maybe down to a 20 flat, or maybe even a 19.9 if we really pushed it. But let's have a little look at that lap from the chase camera and see where that time is going. You see going into turn 1, using all the track width there, getting the left-hand tyres onto the curb, skimming the apex really nice there. In second gear, powering out the corner, using the full width of the track again. Now this is the corner that's really important. You can see we don't lift, we just give it, we don't actually brake, sorry, we just give it a little lift off the front, and you see how aggressively I bring that back on the track there, because we don't want to pick up a penalty. And then through this corner, just giving it that little lift to give the line into the corner. But you'll see that little moment of understeer there, the front just didn't want to grip, maybe taking a fraction too much speed into the corner and losing out on a fraction of a second there, maybe even half a tenth or less. But every little bit makes a difference on this lap. And then braking very aggressively through the gears, downshifting. You see how we really attack the apex on that corner again, the apex on there, and again straight over there, and really just trying to widen this line. This is really important, this corner, for getting a good lap as well, because you've got to get on the power really early. And again, this is another important corner, because you've got to get down in second gear and then back into the acceleration zone and carry the speed into the final corner. Real technical section, this final corner section at Fuji. I do love it, and we actually hooked that up quite nicely, accelerating out and down the main straight for a 1 minute 20.1, so quite a good lap. Hopefully these few little tips will help you maybe get your lap a little bit higher, the braking zone, so you can spot what you got to do with the braking and accelerating. Hopefully it will improve your laps in the time trial to enable you to start that little bit further up. It is really important to start as high up on the grid for this race as possible. It is 14 laps, but it's a one stopper for everyone, so you want to be as high up the grid, especially with the fact that it's a standing start. You don't want to be towards the back, or well, towards the back isn't too bad, but in the middle of the carnage it can be a bit chaotic. But at the front, hopefully you can get away and get a good result. As I'm going to let you watch the full lap at 4 speed now without any talking. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like if you liked it, and let me know in the comment section if it's helped you improve your lap at all. And make sure you hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks again for watching, everyone.